If you run a computational text analysis on the Quran, you find some immediate numerical correlations. The Arabic word for day appears exactly 365 times. The word for month appears exactly 12 times. The dataset expands further. The word for sea occurs 32 times, while the word for land occurs 13 times. When you calculate the ratio of those 32 sea occurrences to the 13 land occurrences, it results in 71.1% and 28.9%. That matches the actual geological ratio of water to land on planet Earth. For 1,400 years, this text has been studied for its linguistic structure, but modern data analysis suggests a specific mathematical system might be operating right beneath the words. These patterns weren't fully visible until the 1970s. That is when computers first allowed researchers to treat ancient religious works as massive datasets for analysis. This creates a central tension. Are we looking at an encrypted divine matrix, or are these numbers simply a byproduct of statistical probability in a large enough text? To find an answer, we have to test these mathematical claims against the scientific method and see how the brain reacts to finding patterns in data. This grid visualizes the Quran as a dataset of 114 chapters, or surahs. Each chapter carries 2 data points, its sequence number and its total verse count. If you add the sequence number to the verse count for every chapter, the results split perfectly. For exactly 57 chapters, that total sum is an even number. For the remaining 57 chapters, that total sum is an odd number. When you add those 57 even sums together, the total is 6,236. That is the exact number of total verses in the entire book. Then add the 57 odd sums together. You get 6,555, the exact result of adding every number from 1 to 114. Coordinating 114 independent entries so that their sums interlock with both the total verse count and the sum of the chapter sequence is a level of symmetry rarely found in a text of this length. In 1974, Dr. Rashad Khalifa published a claim that the number 19 acts as a mathematical security protocol for the text. He pointed out that the opening phrase has 19 letters, and the 114 total chapters divide perfectly by 19. This equation demonstrates a further correlation. If you divide the matrix's repeating sums by its non-repeating sums, the result is 1.618. In geometry and nature, this is known as the golden ratio. The volume of these numerical coincidences makes the argument for intentional design appear quite strong. However, statisticians point to a cognitive trap called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. It works like this. You shoot random holes into a barn wall, then paint a bullseye around the tightest cluster to claim you were aiming there all along. Critics argue Khalifa's Code 19 follows this pattern. Instead of testing a hypothesis, researchers often look at the data first and then build rules to make patterns emerge. The most significant evidence of this is in the data itself. To make his equations for the number 19 work, Khalifa had to claim 2 verses from chapter 9 were fake and delete them from his dataset. Other inconsistencies appear in the counting. Researchers might count written letters, count the way words are pronounced, or select specific historical manuscripts only when they align with the math. When the rules for a miracle are decided after the data has already been viewed, the statistical purity of the discovery is lost. We are left with 2 competing perspectives. One side shows a text containing complex, verifiable numerical symmetries. The other side shows a statistical reality. In any book with over 6,000 verses, you will naturally find patterns if you mine the data long enough. The human brain is simply neurologically hardwired to find design and meaning in the middle of random information. This debate is a case study in probability and the difficulty of maintaining objectivity when analyzing a dataset this vast. Whether these numbers are viewed as a divine signature or a byproduct of cognitive bias, they remain one of the most persistent mysteries in modern religious study.